Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, whether it's here in the US or in Europe or Japan or somewhere else. Thanks so much for watching and hanging out with me tonight while I play a little old school Final Fantasy XI. I'm here to tell you I've had an absolute blast stepping back into this world after over a decade away. So many things seem familiar and are the same, while other things are completely different. So it's a weird experience, but I'm having a blast doing it. Yesterday, when I played, we started the mission Journey Abroad, and we actually made our way, actually 2 sessions ago, to the city of Bastok. And yesterday, we did the portion of the mission that takes place in Bastok. We went to the Palborough mines. We got to know a little bit about the Bastok culture, what that area is all about. We unlocked all of the home points there. Um, and we came back to the home kingdom of Sandoria, which is where this character Roinja is from. And today, we're going to do the second part of that mission, where we go to Windurst, the Federation of Windurst. And we pick up the mission there, and we see what lies in store for us in Windurst. Now, of course, things are a little different this time around. When we walked to Bastok, we did just that. We walked all the way to Bastok. Um, but you're not really able to walk to Windurst. I mean, you can, but it involves quite a bit when there's a much more direct path to Windurst that we're going to take. And so let's pop into the game. There we are. And to get to Windurst, what we're going to do is we actually have to go to the Valcrum Dunes. And then we're going to take a boat all the way to Windurst. So that's the plan. So the first thing I want to do while I'm here... Excuse me. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. I'm going to go ahead and get Signet cast on me, get that refreshed and updated. Excuse me. And we are going to warp to... Actually, let me do something. I don't even know if this stuff matters anymore, but... An expeditionary force. Interesting, okay. Wow, I haven't done that in ages. Even when I played, nobody did that. I'm going to do a supplies quest for the dunes. I don't know why. I don't think that matters much anymore. But we'll do it. And so to get to the dunes, of course, I'm going to use this survival guide to warp directly there. Okay, so I want to mention a couple things. I think earlier when we started, there was all kinds of special campaigns going on that were lessening the price of these warps. And now, as you can see, it's a little more expensive. 1,000 gil, 50 tabs. Tabs are a currency that's earned by doing those field manuals. And I have 149 tabs. But let's go ahead and use the gil. Because there may be a time where we really need the tabs on something else. Now, a cheaper alternative might have been to do an outpost warp, assuming... See, I don't even know how that works anymore. It used to be you can only warp, well, You can only warp to an outpost if your country was in control of it, which mine actually is. Let's see if this guy is actually paying attention. It's an interesting helmet he's got there. Let's see how many people are here today. In the dunes, it's just us three. That's it. Okay. Wow, that is so crazy to me. You just don't even understand. Let's see if there's any notorious monsters up while I'm here. No, I don't see any. So we're heading south, right over here to Selbina. And if you remember when we played before, Selbina is where we actually went to unlock the support jobs, the sub-jobs. And we also triggered part of that Rhapsodies of Vana'diel quest here, which I'm really torn on. It wanted me to go to the dock and take a boat to an area called Norg, which normally in the old days of the game is a place that you wouldn't really get to go to for a little while. In fact, technically, Norg was added on in the first expansion, Rise of the Xylart, which here in the US we had from day one, but in Japan it was technically an add-on area. So part of me wants to not even visit Norg until we've done all of that base content from the first game, because I really kind of want to show people I want the story to sort of unfold in the natural way. But of course today the natural way is different, because the game holds your hand and actually guides you to Norg early on. Oh wow, good spells for sale here. So this guy, this is where you would go to get to Windurst, is this boat vendor here, not this fella. This is the Norg guy, I think. So we're still going to skip all that. So I'm going to buy a ticket. The ship to Mahara is 100 gil a person, yes. Now, Mahara is another town very much like this one on the other side of the sea. And that is where, that's the side of the sea where Windurst is. The ship bound for Mahara will arrive in 4 hours. That's about 10 minutes Earth time. So yes, I really have to sit here and wait for 10 minutes. So we just kind of have to chill for 10 minutes. So while I do that, I don't mean to bore everybody, but would you like to see a chart of the sea route? Yeah, please. So this is essentially where we're going. And I want to stress something too. We're actually going to be taking this trip. It's not just a situation where it's going to fade out and then fade in. We're on the boat ride. And things happen on the boat ride. I don't know if it's all going to happen this time, but things happen. Interesting things can happen. Some people like to take the boat to do deep sea fishing, things like that. But that's not what we're going to do. So while we're waiting, let's set up a couple things, shall we? You may have seen other people stream this game, and their bottom bar here looks different than mine. For the longest time, this was the way the game looked. Because remember, this game was designed for the PlayStation 2. And so your game and your information all had to be on the screen. I mean, think about most MMOs you may have played. They don't have menus like this. This is a menu-driven game. Like normally in an MMO, if you want to see your character, you hit C on the keyboard, or E for equipment, or I for items, or something like that. Here, I've got to go to a menu and look at what my character's wearing. Look at what's in my backpack. And the same with the chat. The chat window can have a lot of information in it. But if it did, it's going to take up the whole screen, and then you can't see what's going on. So they came up with this whole thing right here, this tab system. But then later on, once the game sort of migrated away from consoles, they gave us some new options, and I've never really explored them until now. So let's take a look at it. I think it's here in config, maybe. Let's see. Controls, auto target during battle, yes. Leave some of this alone. Inventory sort on. Right? I don't know that that's working right. Sorts items by category. Sorts items by name, and organizing and stacking them when possible. That's what I want. Okay. Chat filters. The types of text to be filtered from the log window. So what I've done here is enabled a chime. So when someone sends me a tell, we'll hear a little ding. And so you can turn a lot of these things off. I actually kind of like seeing all of them, so I'm going to leave them alone for now. Windows, shared, Windows 1, Window 2. I think that might be where I'm trying to go. Log, Window 1, Window 2, Window 1, chat. See, these are settings I've never explored before, so this will be different for me. System. Battle messages. Calls for help. Basic system. I don't even see a window 2 right now, so let me just go back, turn that back on until we figure out how to get this the way we want it. Some of these options look new to me. Okay, so somewhere in here. I'm not sure how to separate these. Let me look it up. split your chat log, use the built-in dual chat window feature, which divides your screen into window 1 and window 2. Okay. So config log. Select window 1 to choose which window settings you want to edit. Ah, okay, I think I see. And that still doesn't, I still only have one window here. Let's see. How do I split it into 2 long windows? That's what I'm trying to find. Let's see. I feel like this is way easier than I'm making it out to be. Oh, here's my boat. I'll put this back to default here, and we'll mess with that later. So the boat has arrived. So what we have to do here is we go into the hold here, and we just wait, I think it's like a minute or something for the boat to take off. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm missing something. Log, window 2. Turn it on. Yeah, I'm just, am I this dense? I'm missing something. I don't see where I turn it on. Multi-window. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Horizontal. Vertical. Okay. And we're making a little progress here. Oh, look at that. I see. Okay, that's all the way on the side there. Let's see. There we go. There we go. That's a little different than I'm used to. I'm not gonna lie. That's a little different. Okay. Okay, okay. I'm gonna have to play with that. That is different than what I'm used to. But I see a lot of potential there. Like if I'm wanting to just have battle messages go into one window, that could come in handy big time. All right, I understand that now. That's something I'm probably going to reset it back to the way it was for the remainder of this stream, and then I will tinker with that off camera. And next time we stream, we'll have it set up. I think is what we're going to do. I think that's what we're going to do. All right, so we are on the sea, headed to Mahara. So once you're out, once the boat is off, like it is now, there are things you can buy. There's potions, ethers, and I think this guy over here sells fishing equipment. But what was that noise? Let's see what that noise was. Sometimes the boat gets attacked by pirates or by sea creatures. And it's no guarantee, but it's always possible. There's the sea chart. On our way to Mahara, we should be there in about 5 hours, which is 13 minutes in real time. And so what's so cool about this is you can actually see that we're making this trip. You can watch the coastlines and see things. Especially as we get closer, you'll start seeing landmarks. So we have a phantom here. Seems like an even match. Let's get some trusts out. And let's fight some of this. But the journey is real. The journey takes place in real time, so to speak. Here we have a phantom. So I am under the effect of paralysis right now. So to me, this was so cool back in the day because there are things to do while you're on this boat ride. And like I said, a lot of people like to come here to go fishing, and it's not a guaranteed, peaceful event. One of the first times I ever took this boat ride, I was with other players, and they told me just stay below decks where it's safe because there's no guarantee that you'll survive an attack. Because sometimes there's really, really crazy monsters that spawn up here. The sea monk is one of them. It's like a giant manta ray. And then again, like I said, sometimes there's pirates. Sadly, this is all content that a lot of people don't see much anymore, because who wants to spend the 15 minutes to take this boat trip when you can just warp? But we might do some, not tonight, but later on, we might do a couple boat trips and have some adventures on the high seas. Take a moment to heal here. And I love the music that was playing a moment ago. Love it. But I also like the ambient sounds too. Listen to that. You can hear the boat. You can hear the water. And think this was in 2002. Pretty advanced for the time, I would think, for an MMO to have this much attention to detail. All right, here we have another Phantom. Once again, even match for this guy. And you can see this monster has ice spikes. Anybody that hits it gets inflicted with ice damage. And what was that weapon skill? Let me set up a new macro. Iron Tempest. Let's take a look at the view. So, Sabina is way behind us. You see some little islands here off to the side. And soon, before long, the other coast will come into view. We can jump now. That's crazy. We have a sea hugel or pudgel. Easy, easy, easy. Got about 5 minutes left on the trip. See the moon. So cool. All right, so we're starting to see some things on the other side. We're getting real close now. Yeah, we're getting close now. Look at all of the land that's starting to appear. You can see the trees. So that's one cool little thing about these like detours like this boat ride is you can see, a lot of little Easter eggs, a lot of little details. Oh, there's the sea monk. I don't know that we can beat it, but we're going to give it a shot. I incorrectly said this was a notorious monster. It's not a notorious monster, but he's really tough at you know, this at the level you would normally make this trip. I don't know if we'll be able to beat him before we dock. Yeah, come on, hit him so I can get enough TP to do a weapon skill. We got him. Very nice. Just in the nick of time, too. And so here is Mahara. This is the version of Selbina on the other side of the sea. This is Windurst's Selbina. So much so, in fact, that if you started in Windurst, the support job quest is here instead of Selbina. You know, very similar. As of late, this zone and Selbina, I understand, have sort of become almost in-game hubs. That's why we're seeing shouts in both places. Let's go ahead and exit. Yes. You see all these players up here doing endgame content. So she's sending me to the governor's house. I don't think he's got anything special for us, but we'll go there. Do you wish to know your fortune? Let's see what it says. Very interesting. Your lucky color is pale blue. Your fortune lies a great distance to the northwest. Interesting. I don't know what that does, or what effect that actually has. Okay. So not much for me to do here in Mahara, except maybe collect a couple home points. We're going to do that. There's only one here, it looks like. So we'll go ahead and grab it on the way out. Yeah, all these people are doing ambuscade. So let's continue our journey towards Windurst. Coordinator move. Well, I don't know what that does. It might be something newish. Oh, Vanabout. Interesting. I know there's some kind of special Vanabout festival or something like that going on right now, but I don't know the details of that. That's fairly new. It wasn't in the game when I played before. Alright, so we are now in the Uberimu Peninsula. This is sort of like the dunes for Windurst. But I understand everybody still kind of just went to the dunes. Alright, so we're going to hit this outpost. And I think it's Tarongi Canyon is the way to get to Windurst. Everything here should be pretty, yeah, easy prey for us. Because like I said, this was like the dunes in terms of challenge and all of that. So we're just going to kind of follow this road to the west. So the cool thing about playing with a controller is when you stand next to these Dalmels and they walk, you can feel the controller actually vibrate with their footsteps. Same with like the big battering rams. I went the wrong way, didn't I? I went the long way. This will still get us where we need to go, but I just kind of took a path I didn't have to take. Oh, we're going to be in trouble with this guy. Let's see what kind of chest is here. No chest for me. Let's make our way to that outpost. We should be almost there. I gotta go north. Yeah, here we go. I see it. And we'll tag this manual here at the outpost, the survival guide. That's the field manual. There's the survival guide. Interestingly enough, Bastock has control of this region, which is a little unusual. Usually, this is close enough to Windurst. I would expect Windurst to have control of it. So that's an example of the conquest system at work. Excuse me. There used to be really kind of hard rules about that, like certain zones were almost always under control of the main nation states, simply because there was, enough new players in those lower level zones to keep, control. But now that the player population's a little down, and now that players are doing all sorts of, high level stuff, almost the entire population of this game is end game players. You're starting to see, slightly weird behavior like that. Okay, so here we are. So we are in Tarongi Canyon, and the first stop I want to make here is to get the teleport crystal for the crag. But then we're going to go all the way south to East Saruta Baruta. Saruta Baruta is the zone that connects directly to Windurst. And I think I brought these handy dandy chocobo passes. Did I bring them? Did I not bring them? Yeah, I've got them. So we will take the chocobo from the crag all the way into Windurst. Now again, normally to rent a chocobo, I think you have to be level 20 or 30. I can't remember. I think maybe it was 20. But there's a whole quest that you have to participate to unlock the ability to ride chocobos normally. But as part of the tutorial perk, the part of the tutorial that's not in the game, you have a perk that gives you those chocobo passes, I believe. So you have a limited number of free rides, even without having a chocobo license. We'll take advantage of that. Let's see, are there any cool NMs up right now? I don't see any. So we can see the crag dead ahead. And we just passed a Yagudo. Now you remember, in Sandoria we have the Orcs, in Vastok they have the Quadovs. Here in the Windurst region, they have Yagudo, which are like birdmen. So each nation has a beastman rival. And if we've been paying attention to the story that's unfolding, the beastmen are becoming organized, it seems like. And there's an ever-growing threat that the beastmen are going to rise up against the nations. So this is a shattered crystal, a shattered telepoint. Nothing we can do there just yet. So if you remember your lore from the earliest episodes of this series, when we watched the intro movie and all of that, we learned that 20 years ago there was a giant war against the Beastmen, and all of the nations teamed together. It's called the Crystal War. They all teamed together to defeat the Beastmen. Alright, I got my Mia Gate Crystal. Let's go ahead and trade this young lady one of these Chocobo passes so we get a free ride on a Chocobo. Oh, that didn't work. Why? Okay, it worked at the other. It worked in town. Will it not work here with her? Interesting. Chocobo has free ride ticket as part of the adventure of Chocobo riding. So why is it not working? Let me take a look at that, because I thought I could use them from the any Chocobo. Maybe it is only in town. Let's see. Can be used to get a free ride. By trading to Chocobo Renter NPC. Oh, yep. So it's only for Chocobos in a major city. So if you use Chocobos in the field, you still have to have that license. Okay, good to know. So we have a little walk. We're going to have to walk through Saruta by foot. But first we have to get out of this zone. Somebody's been through here very recently because we've got chests. Somebody's treasure caskets. Let's see how many players are here in this zone. Myself and two others. This guy is fairly new. Cruise Biscuit. He doesn't even have a support job yet. Alright, let me gather my bearings here. I'm going the wrong way completely. So even though I wasn't able to take a chocobo, that detour to the crag was well worth my time, because I now possess all three of the main teleport gate crystals. And back in the old days, those were super duper important, because as we've talked about, you couldn't just warp between home points like you can now. So using a teleport spell was one really good way to get around. You could teleport to either three of those crags from anywhere in the game. So if you were in Sandoria and you wanted to go to the dunes, for example, the most efficient way to get there would be to take a teleport to the Crag of Hala and then just go south into the Valkram Dunes. Or if you were in Sandoria and you wanted to get to Windurst, taking a teleport to Mia And then grabbing a chocobo and heading south was the way to do it. Now, of course, things are very, very different. And you can simply just, use survival guide warps. You can use home point warps, whatever the case is, which means those teleport spells are not nearly as valuable as they used to be. When I first started playing, to buy one of those spells for your white mage cost at least like 30k gil, at least. Sometimes more, just depending on your server, depending on the demand. There's a quest that you could do to earn them for free, but it was a complicated quest and it was a lot involved in it. And so people who knew they never ever wanted to be mages, never wanted to level white mage or anything like that, would do the quest, get the scroll, and then put it on the auction house for sale for money. Or some people who were in a hurry would buy the scroll and then just plan to reimburse themselves later by doing the quest and then selling the reward. So we're going through the pass here. It's twisty and windy. Well, we're almost through it. And Saruta Baruta is the next zone, and it's really, really cool. Honestly, as far as the starting nations go, Windurst and the surrounding areas are probably the more comfortable. Like, they're so cozy feeling. Like, if I could visit any zone in this game, for real, it would be those zones. It'd be Windurst. I'd like to visit Windurst. All right, here we are. Okay, so Windurst Woods is actually at the bottom of this map. But I don't think we can easily get there because of this plateau here, perhaps. So I think we might have to zone into West Saruta. I can't remember. This was not an area that I went to super duper often because I never had a character that started in this zone. Well, I take that back. I actually did. A few years ago, when during a free login campaign, I made a Tartaru in Windurst, but I didn't play it for very long. Still, even though I didn't spend a ton of time in this zone, the music is super familiar, and I have a lot of good memories about playing the game. I might be able to make it to the south from here. I'm not sure. Let's sort of follow this road and see where it goes. Because I think maybe I can snake along the river here and then go down, perhaps? We'll see. We'll see if that's an option. Then again, I might want to zone in to West Saruta because I think there's an outpost there. Wouldn't hurt to pick up that outpost. Just looking for any cool, notorious monsters that might be out and about. Not seeing any. Alright, I think there's an outpost in this zone. Yeah, right in the middle there. So we'll tag that, and then we'll go in probably to Windurst waters. And there's really nothing here that would be challenging to us monster-wise. These are all probably too weak. Yeah. Alright, I think I see the outpost dead ahead. All right. So we've got the survival guide. Let's go ahead and head in to Windurst waters, which should be a beeline in this direction. Just past these ruins here. In fact, I believe I can see the walls. Right there. And into the Federation of Windurst we go. Love this music right here. Now, Windurst is the home of the Tarutaru and the Mithra. What is this book and why can't I interact with it? Here's our Moogle. I don't think we've talked to him today. We waited yesterday, didn't we? We waited yesterday, right? So we might have a chance at a decent reward. Let's see. A Mog missile. What is that? I don't recognize that from the old days of these events. Oh, my inventory's full. I can't get the Mog missile. Alright, let's get rid of something. Now, I might have missed my shot at the Mog missile, actually. It might want to give me something else. An Angel Wing, which is like the default booby prize. This is what an Angel Wing does. It's kind of cool, but also pointless. Alright. Let's find our home points. One in dead ahead, one over there, one down there. So there's a total of 4 here. Where's the 4th one? Oh yes, I forgot. Windurst Waters is split into multiple parts. Okay. I'm curious now what a Mog missile is. Let's look it up. Mog missile. Traditional Moogle firework. Oh wow, you shoot it off and it creates a Moogle-shaped firework in the sky. It's kind of cool. Now this guy will actually warp you to the southern part of this map. But since we want to collect these other home points, I'm not going to use him. Well, that's the Warp Taru. I forgot about him. Alright, second home point. And we've got one. Where's it at? To the far right? Yep. I think he's all the way down here. Yeah. Other residential area. Okay. Now I want to walk to Windurst Water South and get whatever home points are hanging out down there. And then I think Windurst Walls is where we go to proceed with the mission that we're on. When did they add a Kieran? So these guys were introduced in the game much later on. I've never seen this this little guy standing here. That's interesting to me. Okay, so there is one here. And we'll just follow the path down to the port. Okay. Let's see, where is Port Windurst? It's behind us. Into the south. These guys are cool, these Cardians. They are like automatons created by the Tarotaru. So, in case you haven't picked up on it, the Tarotaru highly magical. They're the magical race. That's their specialty. And so as a result, a lot of the quests and things surrounding this area all have to do with spellcasting. So I'm going to cut to the right so we can get this home point over here. A little boring, I know, but collecting the home points are important. And I'm going to grab them while I have the opportunity, since this is my first visit to Windurst on this character. So actually, that's the Bastock consulate right there. I thought maybe it was in one of the other zones, but I guess not. Alright, Consulate of Bastock. Where's the Consulate of Sandoria? Not in this zone, apparently. Alright, so now we gotta walk all the way across the zone to the residential area. And we'll go to Windurst Woods. Right? Yes. So we had Windurst Waters, Port Windurst, Windurst Woods. And I thought there was a Walls, too. Maybe I'm mistaken. Just Walls. Why does that stick in my brain? There's the airship port. So we're going to hang a left up here. Right? Yeah. Deuce Bigelow Jr. over here. And we're going to proceed into Windurst Woods. Okay, there is a Windurst Walls. All right, and there's the Consulate of Sandoria. So where are we on the map here? So this one's got quite a few home points. So we're going to swing down, hit 5, hit 4, hit 2, hit 1, hit 3. That's the plan. I don't remember this having ambient lighting before. I'm sure it did. I just have no memory of it. It's pretty. Okay. Now we're going to swing around and hit number 4 at the South Auction House. Which is not in here. There we go. I think it's up top, the auction house. Yeah, right here. So now we're going to head up to Leviathan's Gate. Nope, behind me. And to the north. All right. Now we're going to hit the number 1. Lots of home points. All right, and then we're going to swing over this way and hit number 3. And I guess while we're at it, we'll go to the walls. Go to Windurst Walls. Because then we can just home point warp right back to the consulate. So I don't want to start that expansion just yet. So I'll say view later. And the reason I don't want to start that expansion just yet is right now I want to focus on the main stories. All right, one more to go on this map. One more to go. This big tree here, this is the city of Windurst's like special zone. That's where their leader is situated, and a lot of their missions and things like that start right there. I can't remember if there is a home point in there or not, but even if there is, I'm not worried about that at the moment, because when the time comes that we have to visit there, if there is one, we'll tag it. All right. Whoa, that's a lot of work. All right, so what was the zone right below us? Windurst Woods. Yes. Current region, Windurst Woods. I want to get to the Consulate of Sandora. I guess the closest spot would probably be number 5. And let's go ahead and get this quest, or this mission, I should say, this leg of the mission underway. There it is. Welcome to the Consulate of Sandora. If you wish to speak to Consul More, golly, these names. Morisis? Enter is obviously the door on your right. Morisis. Maybe we'll just call him Morrissey. So, you've come all the way from Sandoria, eh? Your dedication to serving the motherland is most admirable. This mission is on behalf of the Windurstian government. It displays our country's level of friendship towards Windurst. Maureen, please explain to the brave man here what this mission entails. Allow me to explain Windurst's request. A giant monster has appeared in the depths of Gideus, the borderland to the theocracy of the Yagudo Beastmen. The Windurstian government wants it exterminated. You are to receive a key from Heaven's Tower in the Windurst Walls district and head to the innermost part of Gideus, where the creature awaits. Haha, what a jolly tale that is, a ferocious monster appearing in the heart of Gideus, scaring the Yagudo so much that they ask the Taro to help them. It is most fortunate for those beastmen that the Windurst government has sought amicable relations with them in order to maintain the peace of their country. What, don't tell me you haven't heard of Windurst's little peace pact with the Yagudo. Of course, we Sandorians have no need to show those vulgar beastmen any courtesy whatsoever. This is an agreement between our two countries, so we have no choice but to go through with it. So go ahead and exterminate the ferocious monster plaguing the depths of Gideus, but don't think you have to hold back from also giving those whining beastmen what they deserve. Anyway, enough chatter. Godspeed on your assignment. Alright, so first step is we have to go to Windurst Walls and get that key he was talking about. Let's go. Oh, and my camera has locked up yet again, I see. This happened the other night for no good reason. Give me a moment, I'll see if I can fix it. Trying to fix it the other day caused problems. Let me see what I can do. Let's see, I think I've got it. Hang tight just for a moment. Yeah, no, that still doesn't want to work, does it? I wonder why that is. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Very odd. Odd problem that I keep having. Alright, so where are we? Yes, just outside of the Heavens Tower. Sorry about the technical problem. Wow, there are still gill sellers selling gill in 2026. That's insane to me. That's wild. All right, let's see. What did this guy say we had to do? I could have sworn he said something about a key, but I don't see it here. Show this piece whatsoever. Not supposed to get through to exterminate the monster. Pretty sure he said there was a key in here that I had to get. Let me read that text again. We receive a key from Heaven's Tower. Head? Okay. So I was correct. Let's see who we talked to. There we go. I have received a report on your mission. You're an adventurer from Sandori will be helping us today. The Yagudo and Gideus have a problem. A terrible monster has appeared deep within their caves. Your mission is to travel all the way to Gideus and help the Yagudo rid themselves of this beast. Here is the key you will need to get into the deeper weeper parts of the Yagudo dwellings. Gideus is a scary place. You would never catch me going there. Have a nice trip. And I have the dark key. Now, let's make sure I have a map of Gideus. And I do not. So we want to buy that. Let me find the map vendor in this town. Oh, let's see. In Port Windurst. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and buy some maps for this region. Because the other day when we did the one where we went to Palborough Mines, I had no map at first, and it was a nightmare. Port Windurst. And I'm wanting to go to G9. G9. That would probably be number 1. The character's name is Moji Rokura. Moji Rokura, Port Windurst, G9. Huh, excuse me. Alright, where am I? So G9 is going to be down there on the docks, I guess. Yeah, I'd say. Yep. Down here somewhere. Right here. Alright, what do we got? I'm just going to buy a few maps that we may need. There's Gideus. That's the main one. I'm going to go ahead and buy some of the stronghold maps. Alright, that's enough for now. Right, let me see. What else we got? What else we got? I think there's one other zone I just want to go ahead and get the map for. Quiffum. Yeah, let's get Quiffum. Some of these are zones we'll be going to soon, so. I'm just going to stock up. Alright, that's good enough. Alright, so we've got a little ways to go. We're going to get to Gideus. So I'm going to head out to West Saruta Baruta. Alright, let's see. Interesting. So I was just looking ahead at this mission, and the key item that I was given appears to be different than the one that the wiki suggests that I would be given. It seems to think that the dark key is the item that you get if you're from Bastok, not from Sandoria. So I'm curious how that happened. Maybe they've changed this. That'd be interesting if that's the case. Alright. So Gideus is not all that far. It's right up here. The wiki is saying I should have what's called a shield offering to, I guess, lay at a certain place in Gideus. I don't know. That's weird. Either way, I mean, I have no doubt everything's going to work out. There's so much complexity to the game. When you have a game that's 24 years old, you know, there's all kinds of interesting things that can happen. Changes that have to be made. Content that's all but been forgotten about and abandoned. And I want to experience as much of it as I can with this playthrough. And it kills me to think I might not be able to do that. Right, almost there. Almost to Gideus. It won't be long. Just around this corner, it looks like. All right. So here's Gideus. I think we have to go all the way down to that home point down there. Because I do believe we're going to have a fight. So, if you remember, when I did that quest, when I did that mission, excuse me, save the children, where we went to the Galestra outpost and we had that fight with those orcs. Um, it was a door, a hut door that you click on, and it said, do you want to begin this fight? That's sort of what's going to happen down here. These are what's known as BCNMs, or Burning Circle Notorious Monsters. They call them that because literally the area that starts the fight looks like a burning circle on the ground most of the time. And some of them are just story based, like this one, like that one. But there are some where there's certain items that you get later in the game, and you trade them to these burning circles to initiate fights. And a lot of people would do this to try to win certain prizes. There were certain rewards, certain drops from the boss monsters. Let's see where we're at. Are these guys going to aggro me? Too weak. Which way am I going? We're going to go to the right. And down. Right? Yeah. Hang to the left here. This guy might aggro me. Yeah, decent challenge. He's going to want to fight. And he might actually kick my backside. He's a decent challenge. We'll see what happens. I think I'm in pretty good shape, though. Plus, I've got that re-raise. I'm close enough to the zone. I probably could run if I needed to, but I want to see if we can take this guy. Let me pop this food. A King Locust, huh? 7, oh, we got some. What is some of this stuff? I don't recognize it. Huh. Interesting. That might be I'm not sure what that's for. It might be a quest item, something like that. We're going to go ahead and are there any more of these guys between here and the exit? That's the question. There's a home point. Wow. All right. All right, so I said something about a BCNM. There it is. That's the BCNM. So let me rest up here before we jump into this thing. Okay. Let's see if this works. The rank 2 final mission. So a 15-minute time limit. Probably not going to need it. A searcher. So glad you could come. I didn't realize that little rumor I spread would be so effective. Yes, I am the ferocious monster you were told about. One who will rally the beastmen hordes on a grand campaign to rid the world of you and your kind. So here we have a Mithra, who's a central character in the Windurst story. Samaya Lafina. Rally the beastmen hordes. It almost sounds as if you're planning to wage another crystal war. I see you catch on quick. The day of reckoning will come, and the beastmen will be the ones to rule this world. Not that you'll be here to see it, because you will already be dead. Arise, worm of darkness, devourer of light. I command you, smite my enemies where they stand. And we have a black dragon. Crazy. A dragon. I knew it couldn't have been old you know who. I was getting carried away there. So she had a suspicion about who it was, but it turned out to be a dragon. For all you can muster, your pet dragon. Here come the reinforcements. Look like they'll be able to handle this. I have more pressing matters than dealing with the likes of these. Alright, so yes, I'm going to have to fight a dragon. And I am not anywhere near the level needed to do this. So we are going to invoke our trusts. And I'm going to go with... I'm going to pop this Shantoto too. I've never popped her. She is a powerful Black Mage Trust. One that I think will come in handy on this fight. Interesting. My food that I popped before I came in here persisted. Alright, so I think I've got to take care of this Searcher first. Because if I remember right, he casts spells. And it's a good idea to take him out before you go for the dragon. Usually one person will tank the dragon and just run it around the room. Of course, I'm not playing with actual other players, so the old strategies are going to work a little different. We're just going to have to do this a different way. All right, now the Searcher's gone. Let's take on the Black Dragon. Alright, see, now they won't fight till I make the first hit. And I was bound there for a moment. So this fight used to be one of those things you couldn't really do alone. You had to get help from other players. Usually people that you had met in your link shell or something like that. Now it's easily soloable. And there we go. This cannot be. Me defeated by these weaklings? Here's Lion. Oops, I guess I missed the show. Hey, wait a minute. This dragon... No doubt about it. It's a nether beast from the Northlands. What's it doing here? Their kind haven't been seen ever since the Shadow Lord was destroyed and the Northlands sealed. To see one here with the Beastman, it's as if... And then the Searcher interrupts, the Shadow Lord will soon be brought back to this world. I was merely making preparations for his return. Lion says, what? Who are you? I am Searcher, a servant of the Dark Lord. The great hero that saved you 20 years ago is gone. None has the power to defeat him now. While your people were busy squabbling with each other, we have been preparing for his return, and when he comes, he will destroy you all. Enjoy your lives while they last. Lion says the Shadow Lord is coming back. There's going to be another war. Our days will be filled with hatred and sorrow once more. Rohinja, you should head back to your country, and don't forget to report what happened here. If it's true the Shadow Lord is being resurrected, we can expect trouble to follow. I've got to get going. I hope to see you around someday, Rohinja. And with that, we have almost completed this mission. So I'm going to warp back to Sandoria, because she said return to my home country, right? So I'm assuming I don't have to go to the consulate. Actually, looking at this entry on the wiki, I do have to go back to the consulate. So we'll just warp there real quick. That was in the woods, wasn't it? Yeah. I have to get a report from him, and then I take that back to Sandoria. Alright, so let's go report our findings to the consul. Where am I at? What is this you speak? The Shadow Lord is being resurrected. This cannot be. We have to report this to the royal family. I shall write an epistle. I'll need you to deliver it post-haste to Halver back in the motherland. You must protect this letter with your life. Now hurry and deliver it in Sandoria. Okay. Let's do it. Of course, I'm going to home point warp back to Sandoria. Halver spawns right here, doesn't he? Well, Roencha, it's good to see you again. Let's see this report you've brought back. The Shadow Lord back. That's impossible. He was slain by our forces in the Great War 20 years ago. What? The nether beasts have broken out into this land? This is dire news indeed. If this report is true, we must take action. But to be honest, I find it hard to believe. Very well, I will take this report. You will be issued an adventurer certificate as promised. Your latest accomplishment raises your mission rank to 3. Congratulations. You must be wary. Be at ease in the chateau. There is much here to soothe the mind and warm the spirit. Okay, so I have completed rank 2. I'm now a rank 3 adventurer. I've got this Records of Eminence reward as a result. I've got an adventure certificate. What does that do? Permanent key items, adventure certificate. A certification given to adventurers who distinguish themselves in all 3 countries. Very nice. And we have full access to the chateau. So, this is where I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream for the evening. We'll play tomorrow, though, don't worry. And I'll decide exactly what I want to do tomorrow. We may continue with these missions. We may do a little something else. I'm not sure. We still have a couple jobs I want to level up real quick. But I believe the next step is getting us to Juneau. Let's see. Yeah, so the end of rank 3 will take us to Juneau. I'm just looking over this here. Yeah. So that may be, I may just keep on with a mission path. I don't know. The game really wants me to start on these rhapsodies of Vana'diel quests and head to Norg. But like I said, it kind of just feels dirty going to Norg without actually experiencing Juneau, like sort of the way we used to do back in the old days. We'll just kind of see how it goes. I'll make the decision tomorrow on how we want to proceed. But thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. And we'll be back with more Final Fantasy XI as we progress through the main story in this series. So again, thanks again, and I'll see everybody tomorrow.